Since I became a member of Congress, I've been pushing to continue to support Ukraine. As I've said many times, my wife is from Moldova. Her family lives on the Ukraine border. So it's personal. I understand the consequences of failure here. From my vantage point, we have an obligation to support our allies. In 1994, when Ukraine gave up its nuclear weapons, we entered into a treaty, and we said we would protect them in the event of an invasion. And so we have to fulfill our commitments, especially if we ever want any country to believe us ever again when it comes to nuclear disarmament. And so this is important to get this across the finish line. It's why I worked with Brian Fitzpatrick and Jared Golden to introduce Defending Borders, Defending Democracies, which would provide lethal aid to Ukraine, to Israel, to Taiwan, as well as enact provisions to secure our border. And I have signed the discharge petition to get that to the floor. All of us in the House Republican Conference recognize the threat that is posed by China, by Russia, by Iran. The question is how we move forward. And I've made it very clear to the Speaker that the time for debate, the time for discussion is over. We need to act. And we will either do so by the Speaker putting a bill on the floor or by discharge petition. And I encourage my colleagues, we do not want to see Kiev fall. That will be a catastrophic disaster for the world. And if America loses its standing as leader of the free world because we failed to recognize the threat, because we failed to act, that would be a disaster for our country. That would be a disaster for the Republican Party.
So, Congressman, I know in the Senate you have Republican leaders like John Thune, and in the House you have Republican leaders like Chairman McCall, Chairman Turner, who understand that it's not just Ukraine and Kyiv that's at risk, that this is sending a horrible signal to the Communist Chinese Party, and basically saying, you know, Putin, take Ukraine if you want to take Ukraine, and Xi, whenever you're ready to go into Taiwan, go into Taiwan. I mean, is there the understanding by the Speaker of the House and by people around him that if we don't defend Ukraine, then China takes that as an open invitation to invade Taiwan?
Look, American weakness on the international stage is never good. And, you know, I would submit that the withdrawal in Afghanistan was a precursor to the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It showed weakness on our part as a nation. And any weakness that China sees with respect to Ukraine or with respect to Israel is an open invitation to invade Taiwan or set up a blockade. I went with Chairman McCall last year. We visited Japan, Korea, and Taiwan because we understand the threat posed in the Indo-Pacific. It's why I've introduced legislation to create a NATO-like alliance in the Indo-Pacific, because we have to deter and contain the threat of the Chinese Communist Party. And so this is critical. I suspect, in speaking with the Speaker, that as soon as we get the appropriations bills done tomorrow, that we will then move swiftly towards advancing legislation that will support our allies. That is my belief. That's my understanding from the Speaker, that we will work to get that done immediately upon our return. And that's my hope, because time is short. Ukraine needs the ammunitions. They need the weaponry. Israel needs the support. And Taiwan needs the support if we are to deter China from taking any action in the Strait of Taiwan. And remember, 60% of international trade goes through the Strait of Taiwan. If there's a blockade, that will create an economic catastrophe for the United States and the world.